How y'all doing, good people? I'm out here getting this exercise in, getting this vitamin D, but thought I'd do a quick live and cover a few topics. But before we do that, I'm gonna ask you guys that's tapping in, hit that thumbs up for me. Hit that thumbs up for me. Hit that like button for me so that YouTube can get this live stream out to more folks. I really would appreciate that. Also, if you want up to 12 free stocks, Webull is gonna give you up to 12 free stocks. When you open a new Webull brokerage account, you can put any amount of money in that brokerage account, and Webull is gonna give you up to 12 free stocks. There's a link down in the description box of this video. Go click on that Webull link. Open up your new Webull account today. Go get that free stock. Go get that free money. I'm going to also send you a free Webull tutorial video that can walk you through how to use the Webull app to make your first trade. All you got to do is send me a DM on Instagram at RichardFain28. Let me know you've opened your new Webull account. Let me know you funded it. And then I'm gonna send you that Webull tutorial video so you can start building wealth today. Why are there 38 million Americans living in poverty? I recently looked at a study that said roughly 11-12% of Americans are living below the poverty line. Let me give you an example what that looks like. For an individual making less than $15,000 a year, that's considered living below the poverty line. That basically means you are struggling to afford your basic needs in order to live. If you're a family of 4 and you're making less than $30,000 a year, you're considered in poverty. You're living below the poverty line. How can the greatest country in the world, in every aspect of great, I'm talking about financially, I'm talking about from a military standpoint, I'm talking about from a lifestyle standpoint, we're the greatest country in the world, but we have 38 million Americans who can't afford the basic things they need in order to live. In my opinion, that's a shame. That's a travesty. See, in this country, because it's a capitalistic society and the almighty dollar reigns number one, everything we do is focused on making money and getting rich and being wealthy. And again, guys, nothing wrong with that. Those pursuits are valid, but not at the cost of 38 million people suffering from a financial standpoint. That's just not acceptable. And we shouldn't allow that. But again, the haves, in a lot of cases, are not willing to help the have-nots. That's the way it is. That's why 1% of the population controls about 95% of the wealth in this country. And that's super sad. But, you know, life ain't fair, man. It's not fair. We got to get out here, roll our sleeves up, and take what we want. Not in a violent way, not in a mean way, but we have to get out here and make our life financially better than what it is. So if I'm living below the poverty line, what would I do? Number one, I'd reassess my skill sets. Because obviously, if I'm an individual and I'm making less than $15,000 a year and I'm a grown person, I'm not talking about kids here, guys. I'm talking about adults making less than $15,000 a year. If I'm one of those people, I got to look at my capability of making more money. And if I don't have a skill set that will allow me to make more money, I got to go find a skill set. And there is a lot of opportunity in this country. Now, there are all different types of circumstances why people live below the poverty line. Now, I'm not talking about people who just can't help because maybe they got a physical disability or a mental disability, or, you know what I mean, something that prevents them from being able to get out and make more money. I understand we got a population of folks that fall in that category, and I'm not talking about those folks. I'm talking about just able-bodied Americans, sound mind, who can get out and do more. And again, it's not about blaming them. I'm just trying to find a solution so that we can shrink that number from 38 million Americans who live below the poverty line. And I think it starts with finding a way to increase your income. That's number one. You got to figure out a way to increase your income, whether it be learning a new high income skill, whether it's adding secondary sources of income. We have to figure out a way to do something, though. So income is number one. And then the second thing I would do is make sure I understand the basic fundamental concepts of how to manage my money. And again, I'm not blaming low income or poor folk for being in the situation they're in. That's not what I'm doing. Now, there is some ownership there, but that's not what this video is about. What this video is about is making you guys aware of that there's 38 million people in this country that can't afford the basic things they need to live. And then coming up with some solutions for those people to hopefully get themselves above the poverty line. So this money management thing is important because people who are living above the poverty line have a problem with financial literacy. So I would imagine people living below the poverty line have a problem with financial literacy as well. That's where that money management comes in. And the simplest way I like to tell people to think about this is you want to go ahead and sit down, pen to paper, and write down all of the money you got coming in, and then you want to write down all of the money you got going out, right? Money coming in is called income. Money going out is called expenses. The goal is to have money left over at the end of the month. I want to make more money than I actually spend. That's back to that living on less than what you make. I know it's easier said than done, but that's step two for someone living below the poverty line. Step three, we gotta stay out of consumer debt. That's people living above the poverty line and people living below, but especially for people living below the poverty line. You got to be careful out there as well, because predatory lenders, they seek out people that are vulnerable in this country financially, and they attack them, right? They misuse them from a financial standpoint. And all I'm talking about is, hey, I'm not in a position where I can go to a traditional bank and get a banking account so I can deposit my check and write normal checks out of my account so money I can pay bills, and I got a normal debit card where I can go to my bank and withdraw money. A lot of people living below the poverty line don't use those traditional banking services. What they typically will go use is these payday loan places or check cashing places. And these people are predatory because they charge an unusual amount of fees in order to transact business for these folks. And they prey on these people because a lot of these folks, for whatever reason, don't have a traditional banking relationship. So it's pretty easy for them to just prey on these people, and man, do they prey on them. These predatory lenders, man, these check cashing places, it's crazy. Along with credit cards, right? And high interest rate loans. A lot of these people living below the poverty line, maybe, right? Maybe an unusual amount of them have bad credit. Now, don't get me wrong, people living above the poverty line got bad credit too. But think about it. If you're living below the poverty line, I'm an individual making less than $15,000 a year, and I got bad credit. That's a double whammy. That's a double whammy. So I gotta do everything I can if I want to pull myself up and get myself above the poverty line from an income standpoint. I got to do everything I can to repair my credit and then keep it clean. And then don't use credit cards the wrong way. I'm not saying you can't use credit cards, just use them the proper way, right? And then the fourth thing for these folks living below the poverty line is they got to save, and then they got to invest. They got to save 3, 6, 9 months worth of their expenses. They got to put that money in a separate bank account. And that's their rainy day fund. That's their emergency fund. So if they hit a bump in the road financially, they got something to cover them until they can get back on their feet. Once they get that emergency fund together, then, and only then, do they start investing little by little, whatever they can afford. I don't care if it's $5 a month. That's what they want to start doing. Because what we're trying to do is get their mind set changed, get their behavior with money corrected. And see, the thing is, I'm a big believer in, if I want to change something in my life, I got to start small and then work my way higher, right? I start small and I work my way higher. Because really what I'm trying to change is behavior. At that point, it's not really about the money that they're investing. It's really about changing their behavior towards investing. If I can change my behavior towards investing at $5 per month, imagine when I'm ready to make an investment of $500 per month. My behavior with investing is already good, right? If I got a raggedy behavior with anything and I don't change it, then I'm gonna continue to have that raggedy behavior with anything. So start small with investing and then build your way up. Set some goals for yourself, some financial goals. And that's not just for people living below the poverty line, that's for people living above the poverty line as well. A lot of you middle class income earners, a lot of you rich people have a problem with that, right? So those are the 4 steps that I would recommend to anybody living below the poverty line. And again, I know we're gonna have comments where people say things like, "It's the government, right? It's the wealthy." And guys, I'm not gonna argue with you on that. I know our government has not done enough. But my point that I always try to get you guys to understand is we can't wait for the government. We just can't continue to wait for the government. That's just not what we can do. We can't continue to wait for the government to do something for us, right? We just can't. Or we're going to be waiting for the rest of our lives. We got to take ownership of our own financial situation. And we got to change it. The good news is we can. If that's what we really want to do, we can change it. So don't allow excuses to get in the way. And again, guys, I know there are people living below the poverty line that are in situations that they can't help. Mental, physical disabilities, things of that nature. I get that, and that's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about folks that are able-bodied, sound mind, and for whatever reason, they are just not choosing to elevate themselves from a financial standpoint. They are allowing their situation to dictate their future. And I just think they can change it. Now, what us people that are doing well financially need to do is we need to help these people. Not financially, but from a financial literacy standpoint. If you're doing well in your life financially, you got it together. You're investing, you're building wealth. You got your debt under control. You're living on less than what you make. You would be a good example for some of these people. And that's where, in the United States, we fall short. We don't help enough people. We're only concerned about us. We're only concerned about our situation. We're only concerned about what's in it for me. And we got to change that. Or guess what's going to happen? More people, more Americans are going to fall below that poverty line when it comes to their income. Look at the times we're in, guys. Inflation is still higher than we would like it to be. Matter of fact, you got the August 2023 CPI inflation report that's coming out September 13th, which is Wednesday. I recommend all you guys pay attention to that so that you know exactly what the state of our economy is. Later in the month of September, I believe September 19th and 20th, the Federal Reserve is having their meeting to determine if they're going to continue increasing short-term interest rates to fight inflation, to fight it down to 2%. That's going to be an impact on us if they increased interest rates again. I believe that'll be for the 12th time in the last 20 months. See, these are things we need to be paying attention to. We don't have to know exactly everything that's going on, but we need to have a general idea of what's going on with our economy. What are these lawmakers and these decision makers doing? And ultimately, we can use that information to try to better our financial situation, right? That's what we should be doing right now. No matter what happens with everything else around us. We need to know where we're at financially, because I'm telling you, living below the poverty line is just not acceptable. Because I'm telling you guys, that's not being able to afford the basic things, man. And I'm telling you guys, that's sad. It's one of the reasons I do this YouTube channel, man, is because I got all this financial information that I've learned and acquired over the last 25 years. And I said to myself, dude, you got to help people, man. You got to do something to let people know there's a better future for them. It is. It's a better future for you. So if anybody watching this live or watching the video to follow, just know you can change your financial situation. Contact me. There's an email address down in the description box of this video. RF Financial Consulting. Hit me up. Send me an email. Or go over to Instagram at Richard Fain 28 and send me a DM. Now, I gotta warn you, I'm not about excuses. So don't come in the vid. Don't send me a DM. Don't send me an email. Don't drop a comment with excuses. Okay? I don't want to know the whole story behind why you at where you at. All I want to know is, do you want to get out of it? Are you willing to put in the work, the hard work, the smart work to get out of your situation? That's what I want to know. And then are you open to listening? Now, I don't hold your hand and skip you down the yellow brick road to see the financial Wizard of Oz. That's not what I do. So don't, hey, I need somebody I don't know anything and I need them to take me a step. That's not what I do. What I try to do is empower people to go out and look for the information themselves. Now, I'm going to give you the direction, but then you go put the work in. I'm not there to be a researcher for you. I'm there to say, here are the 4 things you need to do, go get it. And then come back to me and let me know your progress. That's the kind of guy I am. Nobody walked me down the yellow brick road. Nobody did. And nobody ain't gonna walk you down the yellow brick road. What you gotta do is get information, and then you gotta take action on that information. You can't keep sitting around saying, I don't know what they mean. I don't know. No, take action. If I'm making $1,000 a month and I wanna make $2,000 a month, I gotta go out and figure out a way to make an extra $1,000 a month. I don't care if that's getting a second job. I don't care if that's when I get off my primary job, I'm going around my community and picking up trash for people, or mowing lawns for people, or pressure washing people's driveways, or Uber driving. I don't care. See, I know when people's back up against the wall and they got nowhere else to go, because those type of people do those things. People who think their back ain't against the wall, but it is, they're not willing to do those things. You got to be willing to do whatever it takes financially, guys, if you're going to get yourself above that poverty line. If you're going to get yourself to financial freedom. Because that's the goal. At least that's my goal, or was my goal. My goal was to get to freedom. Right? That should be our whole point of working, making money, keeping money, and then ultimately multiplying money, is to get to freedom, where I own 100% of my time, where I get to get out here 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning in this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sunshine, smelling this fresh air. Not a financial care in the world. That's where we all need to be. See, you notice I didn't say anything about Lambos. I didn't say anything about big houses. I didn't say anything about fancy jewelry. I didn't say anything about boats and trips and all this other crap people do. It's what it's about is what I'm doing right now. Health, sunshine, stress-free, happiness, peace of mind. And guess what? I can stay out here as long as I want to. That's what it's all about. You got to get you some of that. You got to get you some of that. But the only way you get it is you got to pay the financial price. You don't get it for free. It ain't going to fall out the sky and hit you on top of the head. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I don't care what these financial gurus tell you in these YouTube videos. It ain't going to happen. Yep. I make side hustle videos. I make how to get rich. I make how to get into real estate without any money. I make videos like that. But if you click on the video and you go through the video, I clearly explain what I'm talking about. See, a lot of people don't do that though. They see the video title. They don't watch the video. They go straight to the comments. Right? Go straight to the comments. But you know something? It don't bother me. Don't bother me. Because see, I know who I am. I know what my purpose is. I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I'm already at my freedom. Right? So all the naysayers can keep on naysaying. Get to your freedom. Right? Before you drop a comment, think about what you want to say. How about drop a comment but with a solution? Don't be dropping comments with negative, stuff. What is that? What good is that doing anybody that's trying to get to that financial freedom? Nothing. But that's how we are in this country, right? We got that crabs in a bucket mentality. Anytime we see somebody trying to climb out of their hole and climb out of that bucket so that they can create a better life for themselves, you got 4 or 5 of us trying to pull them back down in. Why? Because we don't have the courage or the fortitude to get ourselves out of that bucket. So we want to keep others down with us. Don't let them keep you down, guys. Don't let this world keep you in that bucket. Get yourself out that bucket. There's a whole world out here waiting on you. But the only way you get to see that world is you got to get free. You got to get to freedom. That's how you see it. You got to get yourself to freedom. If you get yourself to freedom, man, this world opens up for you. It opens up for you. And what a beautiful world it is. Look at this, man. Look at this. Look at this. What a beautiful world it is. I want you guys to stay strong. Don't get weak. Strength, no weakness. Say that one more time. Strength, no weakness. There's a difference. See, people think when someone cries, that always means they're weak. Don't mean that. I cry all the time, just so that you know. And there ain't no weakness in me. But I do shed a tear because I'm a human being. I got emotions. I don't want to be around nobody that don't cry. Why do I want to be around a person that won't even cry when it's necessary? I want to be around people that are strong, but also are human, that don't worry about it. They show a little bit of emotion when they need to. So strength, no weakness. And then you got to get yourself on that straight path of building this wealth one day at a time so you can get to your freedom, so you can enjoy this world. This great world that we live in. Well, all right, guys, I'm gonna finish up this walk. I'm gonna catch up with you guys this afternoon. We're gonna keep building this wealth, man. And all them folks living below the poverty line, hit me up, tap in, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Get over to Instagram and follow me on Instagram. I'm doing all kind of stuff, man. This thing finna explode. I'm gonna start doing all kind of stuff. Traveling around the country, speaking. Wherever people want me to. Why? Because that's the calling. That's the calling that's on my life. Use me as a resource. Again, not gonna hold your hand and walk you down the yellow brick road to see the financial Wizard of Oz. That's not what I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna do is give you the building blocks and show you how to put them together. But you're gonna have to put them together. All right? If you want them 12 free stocks from Webull, you got to click on that link down in the description box. Open up that new Webull account today. Go get that free stock. Go get that free money. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing. Share the video. Smash that like button. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. And I'm going to catch you on the next video. Peace.